Welcome to Family Life Issues with Kali. I'm your usual host, Ali Kaliwana. And our topic for discuss today will be the advantages and disadvantages of polygamy. Please do well to like my video. Wetin I do on now? Please like my video. Also share so that other people needing the information can receive it. And then subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please. Should you have any comment, leave it in the comment section. I'll get back to you. Thank you very much. And so, in our last episode, we had discussed the concept of polygamy. And I had said that polygamy was the marriage of one man to two or more women simultaneously at the same time. I had also mentioned that this practice was permissible under the customary laws of Nigeria and also under the Sharia laws. And so, if you are in a marriage where the rites that were performed was according to Sharia laws or the customary laws, then you should leave your mind open because your man can, in exercising his discretion, bring in another woman. Having taken note of that, we'll now proceed. What can cause a man to sit down and think that he won't be satisfied with one woman? He has to take multiple wives. We'll begin with the disadvantages. Yes, the disadvantages. It seems like something that would be nice. You can imagine one man having two or more wives. Maybe the men will like it, but it has disadvantages. And these would include financial incapacity. Some men do not have the financial capacity. As in, one woman is enough problems, and then you see a man sits down and decides that he should take another wife. Some of them do this without thinking that what will these women eat? What will they wear? After I take in these women, they will bear children. So financial incapacity is one of the disadvantages. One of the major disadvantages is financial incapacity. One woman is enough problem, not to talk of two, sometimes not to talk of three. You have to be ready. In planning for a second woman, that means you will need a bigger space in your house. So you cannot be living in a two-bedroom flat. You have one wife already and you are thinking of bringing in a second one, or you actually bring in a second one, and that is all the space that you have. What about the financial implication for food, for clothes, for necessaries for your children, education? So financial incapacity is a very core disadvantage. Another disadvantage is lack of emotional intelligence. You would agree with me that loving one woman is sufficient problem in itself, not to talk of two women. Can you love two women at the same time? Or for those that take up to three, can you love three women at the same time? How do you balance the love? And then when they say the measure of love you give to a woman is the same that trickles down to her children. Can you love your children equally? How is it possible that a man in a polygamy can balance his emotions, sharing equally amongst his two or more wives and then their offspring? It is difficult, as in difficult. That would always be a problem. And these imbalances that arise from financial incapacity and a lack of emotional intelligence goes down to cause jealousy among the women and the children. Wife A and her children, then wife B and her children will never be in good. That is the situation in many cases where the man has two or more wives. There is always jealousy, And then there is always unhealthy competition between the women. How do you even do it? I hear some of them have a timetable. Today it is wife A, tomorrow it is wife B. But because the man is drawn to one of the women, sometimes the day that it will be the wife A's turn, he will sneak into wife B to see her first before. It can never be balanced. Eventually, when there is jealousy and unhealthy competition, it will definitely give rise to poor marital satisfaction. Poor marital satisfaction. Now, I cannot say that in cases where the man has only one wife, there is 100% marital satisfaction, but it becomes more when the women are more than one. There will always be that contention between the women. There will always be that rivalry. So these are major, major disadvantages in polygamy. I can tell you for free, as a witness in the house. Yes, I grew up in a polygamous home. As a witness in the house, such rivalry and problems becomes even more when the women are kept in the same space. I know what happens these days is that the polygamous men, because they are rich, they can afford to keep the women in different locations. But keeping them in the same space is express recipe for more wahala. So this thing that has the disadvantages, is it all bad? No. I mean, now we have looked at some of the disadvantages. They are inexhaustible, depending on the peculiar circumstance of your own polygamous man or the polygamous family, the quantity of wives. Are there any advantages of polygamy? Can you sit down and say, "Ah, this polygamy, there is advantage"? Yes. Anything that is so bad can be so sweet. Even bitter leaf, as bitter as it is, you hear that some people chew it. Every day we put it in the soup. For me, bitter leaf is my best vegetable. So I can tell you that there are generally polygamy happens when the man wants to exercise his discretion. He desires it and he wants to do it. I don't know if we can question him if he has the capacity to do so. And if within the ambit of the law, he has the right to exercise his discretion. One of the advantages practically is where maybe the first wife has stayed for so long and then no child is coming. I know you begin to ask me now, am I God? I'm not God. That is what the men say. Oh, I married her because I had waited and no child was coming. So I have to bring him. I love her. I didn't want her to go. In most cases, too, the woman agrees that, okay, since this thing is not coming, you can bring in another woman. You can bring in another woman. But I think that medical science um, has settled this part of, oh, no child is coming early matters or reasons. Medical science has taken um, care of that part because now artificial insemination is an option, and so if by natural means the pregnancy is not coming, then artificial insemination can be resorted to. Even surrogacy can be resorted to. And then a second reason, this one, I asked my friend's dad. I asked him, "Sir, why did you take a second wife?" Because I was curious. I wanted to know. I know it has happened in our house. My father had his reasons. Oh, my father said, oh, the children were not coming, so he had to proceed to bring in more wives. So when I met my friend's father, I asked him, why did you do it? And he said, oh, that he did it because his second wife, disadvantage. Okay, let's be practical now. Came to ambush him and the girl, that is who became his third wife, she came to ambush them and fought her in his presence, and that he felt insulted, and so he had to go ahead to take her, to bring her in as a wife. That's serious. So, in as much as I can't say if the polygamy is right or wrong, I cannot say for another person. The law permits a man that chooses to exercise his discretion to have two or more wives simultaneously. So who am I? What can I say to that? But this is also an opportunity to advise our sisters. When you are sure that the man has taken you in by way of customary marriage, and you see that he's trying to do something outside, please, I don't want your leg to be too fast to go and fight, because the door is open and he can proceed to bring in another wife after you. So just take note of this. Um, Another advantage, like the men will say, we are being practical here. Another advantage the men will say is that, oh, I want to have uh, many children. I want to have many children. This woman has given birth to three children, and she says she's not proceeding to the fourth week, and I want to have 10 children. What would you do? You can't do anything, particularly if he has married you according to the custom. And then some of them would say, oh, my wife, we plan to have many children, but she's had three children through the cesarean section and she cannot go further. And I want more children. And so I'm bringing another wife to have more children. You know, the men will give a good reason all the time for why they should indulge in the things that will cause pain to women. But what would you do? I think that every everything that two people intend to go into is a contract. So before you go into your marriage contract, sit down with your partner and you people should agree on how exactly you want the future to be, particularly as it regards having multiple women or marrying multiple women simultaneously. Some people do not mind, but some people do not want to be counted as a number. So that is it. It is a matter of choice. It is a matter of choice. But if you ask my opinion, I think that if you want to play in that league, it is money matter. You shouldn't even dream it if you do not have the financial capacity. Financial capacity is key if you want to proceed in that area. So that is it for today. If you have enjoyed this content, please do well to share. Please, please, please. Thank you, and then have a lovely week.